Assalamualaikum, we are from Group 2 and today we're going to present our poster with the title The Fault in Our Airplanes. So let's get started!
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. So my name is Hani Suraya binti Abdul Malik and I will talk about the introduction of the poster The Fault in Our Airplanes. So for the introduction, an aviation accident is defined by the Convention of International Civil Aviation, Annex 13. It defined as the occurrence associated with the operation of an aircraft, which takes place between the time any person boards the aircraft, where a person is fatally or seriously injured, the aircraft sustains damage or structural failure, or the aircraft is missing or incompletely inaccessible. The first fatal aviation accident was the crash of the Rasier balloon near France on June 15, 1785. The accident killed the inventor and also the occupant. And the first airplane crash involving a powered aircraft was the crash of a Wright Model A aircraft at Virginia, USA on September 17, 1908. The injuring affect the co-inventor and also the pilot. And for the statistic, this statistic is being analysed by the Aircraft Crashes Record Office, that is known as ACRO. So this is the number of statistic of the airplane crash between 1972 till 2015. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Shamimi binti Muhammad Suhaimi and today I will present the reasons why our airplane crashed. Okay, first of all, it is due to technical. It can cause by because of the design of the airplane. For example, it happened to Verona Caproni CA48. It crashes during 1919, and this is due to the wing flutter followed by wing collapse. And also happened to USAF Thunderbirds, which crashed during 1964. It causes two deaths, which the first death caused by Thunderbirds number 3. It is because of structural failure of the horizontal stabilizer. And second death happened to Thunderbirds number 6. It is because of engine malfunction and caught on fire. And second reason is human error. Human error, it might be because of the pilot. The decision making made by the pilot. Maybe the decision made by the pilot might not be the best at the time being. For example, AirAsia 8501. It happened in the poor weather condition, and the captain chose to adjust the flight altitude at a high rate, which is very impossible at that time being. And it also may be because of the psychological illness. Maybe the pilot have a psychological illness. For example, Silk Air Flight 185. The pilot itself planned to make a suicidal accident, and also Germanwings Flight 9525 also due to suicidal. And the third reason is the environment. Obviously, this one we cannot against it. And it might be because of bird strike, and you also have special name for it, which is BASH aircraft strike hazard, bird aircraft strike hazard. It is a very significant threat to flight safety and has caused a lot of accident. And also one of it happened to NLM City Hopper Flight 431. It is because of a tornado. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. So today I would like to talk about the cases involving airplane crashes. So here I divided it into 3 causes, which are the technical causes, human error, and also environment causes. So the first one is the technical error. The first case that I cited here is American Airlines Flight 191, whereby the cause of this crash is because the damages to the left wing engine pylon had occurred during an earlier engine change at the American Airlines aircraft maintenance facility. Okay, so the second case is China Airlines Flight 611, whereby in that case it is the in-flight breakout was caused by improper repairs to the aircraft 22 years earlier. So let's move on to the human error causes, which the first one is the case of Tatarstan Airlines Flight 363, whereby in this case, according to the official investigation, the crash was a result of the pilot error arising from a lack of skill to recover from an excessive nose-up attitude during a go-around procedure. The pilot's deficiencies were caused by a deficiency in the airline safety management and a lack of regulatory oversight, and this had caused 44 passengers to be killed and 6 crew members on board. So the last one is because of the environment. So the case here is White Road Flight 839, whereby the cause of the incident was strong winds that exceeded structure's tolerance, causing the tall rider of the airplane to crack, so the plane became uncontrollable. So the incident had killed all 5 people on board. That's all.
Hello, hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hasanah binti Baharom. So I'm going to do the presentation on the fault of our airplanes, which is I'm going to talk about the consequences. Okay, first of all, I would like to distribute the consequences into 3 different categories. First, you can see that here politics, economics, and socials. Okay, for politics, you can see that for the airplane crash, we can see that the effects on our politics is it can be happen between the crisis between 2 or more related countries. For example, as we can see that in MH17, it's a crisis between Ukraine, Russia, and of course it was shooted in Malaysian airplane itself. And then you can see that next, after all of this happened, the relationship between 2 countries will be cut off. So you can see that the diplomatic ties is being cut off. So the next effect of the airplane crash, you can see here that, for example, war and the conspiracy theory. You can see that, it is impossible when just the airplane is going well and then suddenly someone shoot the airplane. So there must be something behind all of this. Okay, next, moving on, I will talk about the economic consequences. Okay, first, of course, we should see in terms of the price of the company's common stock. For example, as the past years, you can see that how Malaysian airlines are being, the company's economy itself is being decreasing. And then if fewer people travel, then there is a negative effect on the economy. If the same number of people travel just on the different airlines, then the overall effect is 0. So next, you can see that much cash move around. As you can see that a lot of insurance claims and we need to pay lawyers. For example, in the case of MH370, how most of the Chinese passengers from China, they sued Malaysian airlines individually. So you can see that how the money, how much money costs in this situation. And then moving on, we need to see for the airplane itself, you need to buy the new airplane, the new aircraft, and then the journalists who make report about this kind of incidents, they need to charter helicopter to fly over the crash site for the next 3 days, and then we need to talk about the employment for taking heads in that kind of places. When when this kind of things happen, they must do reports. When you have to do reports outside of your own country, so it will cost a lot. And then next, you can see that when all of this happen, they put it under the government responsible. So we can see that, for example, in MH17, how the government itself paying for all the funeral costs, doing like there are martyr or whatsoever. So we can see that the funerals are being responsible of the government itself. So next, I will talk about the social effects. The consequences in terms of social is that we can see after a lot of airplane crash, we can see that a lot of demonstration, protests are going all over the world. Even in, for example, in the case in MH17, how Ukraine are being argued. So all the citizens itself wanted to protect their country, so they're doing demonstrations and protests all over the world. And then the netizen, we should also see in terms of the social media, how the netizens are condemning the other countries, the airplane itself, the pilots, even though they didn't know about the true story, but then they condemn people around, even though they didn't have the true facts. And then moving on, we can see that when a lot of airplane crash, the level of safety is decreasing. So the tourism industry will decrease. So a lot of tourists will be afraid to traveling by using airplane. And then last but not least, you can see that it also give the biggest effect to the family itself, to the society's mental about the incident. They will keep talking, and this kind of airplane crash will be talked over the years and years and years. So you can see that how all of these consequences, effects on our politics, economics, and social. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Good afternoon and Assalamualaikum. So there are few safety that needs to be improved in order to lessen the case of airplane crash. The first safety instrument that can be improved is black box. Now it is using a ultrasonic signal at 37.5 kHz generates from its underwater location because of beacon has a range of around 3 kilometers. But importantly, the battery will only last for 30 days. So in the case of MH370, this is the main problem because they couldn't find the black box, and the black box battery might have died. So right now the solution is it is time to consider to develop a remote black box that continues transmit flight data to trusted service provider. Flight deck crew should have no control over the communication. In the short term, the battery life could have saved, and most importantly, we could increase the kilohertz to more than 37.5 kHz. Next, the cockpit instrument. In Air France Flight 447 in 2009, the pilot confused using the cockpit instrument, and some buttons are also broken. So in this solution, they invented glass cockpit technology that to give much better visual awareness as features of electronic flight instrument display, typically large LCD screen rather than a traditional style of analog dials and gauges. And lastly, the safety that needs to be improved is landing gear indicator light. In Eastern Airline Flight 401, the flight crash was caused because people did not notice that the autopilot facility had inadvertently been switched off. People also didn't realize that the plane was gradually descending to its dome. So in fact, there was nothing wrong with the landing gear, but it was actually because the indicator light bulb was burned. So it's result in the death of 100 people. So in solution, the technician needs to continuously have done a detailed checking on the airplane before flying. Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you!